I'm going to empower all of you with the same tools that I use to drive me day after day after day, and in some cases, depending on the people who are observing, to heights that some folks would say are, some folks have said, in fact, parahuman. So I'm not saying that about me. I don't believe that. I am a regular guy, and I'm going to tell you all how to do the exact same things that I do. I will teach every one of you. Why? Because I made it my life's mission. When I was in seventh grade, when I was 11 years old, I realized that there would be nothing I could do, no matter how intelligent I was, no matter how educated I could be, no matter how good at anything I could become. I could never do anything to take on the anti-white monstrosity that leered above me and down at me. And I couldn't even comprehend, even then, its totality. But I knew that it was well beyond the acts of any man or woman to take on. So I thought, what could I do? How could I help? And that's when I realized that if I could free our people of anti-whiteism, I could unleash the great Western spirit inside of each one of you. And if I could help in whatever way or whatever measure possible to unleash that powerful Western spirit within inside of you, there is an Armstrong inside of you. There is a Da Vinci inside of you. There is a Robert E. Lee inside of you. Those abilities and talents and one's names that we don't know today will come out, and they will be the force that the world trembles before. They will be the force that when they say enough is enough, the world will tremble. That is what I've dedicated my life to, and I will help each and every one of you to tap in to that resource and that power so that we can unleash that energy and recapture our destiny. So let's do this. The most powerful fuel in the world is love. Misunderstood. Misunderstood. This isn't a Hallmark card. I'm not about to tell you something that you would read in a Hallmark card. The most powerful fuel in the world is love. But love has, and this is where it goes wrong, love has an immense weakness to it. When love is not paired with the other powerful motivator that I'm going to talk about, another powerful force. When love is not paired with that force, love is like a photograph of a rose. It's beautiful in every intricate way, but it is still, it is inert. It lacks motion. And when love lacks motion, it becomes melancholy. How many times have all of you felt and been motivated by love, felt extreme, deep love for something, for someone, but it was love in and of itself. And then you found yourself in very short order drifting into melancholy and into then outright depression as a consequence. That is the dynamic, the dichotomy of love, ladies and gentlemen. It is this supreme power that, if it is not coupled, will drain you of your strength and your vitality. By itself, it is a still photograph. By itself, it is not an engine. The cure to this, then, love by itself. Love when it's not paired with this other thing that I'm going to talk about in just a moment. Love, as I say, when it's not paired, is a still photograph of a rose. Beautiful but lifeless. Alluring but meaningless. Tempting but out of reach. And therefore melancholy sets in, and therefore depression. Love becomes this great power when it is wed with passion. That is when love is truly something to be reckoned with. When passion drives love. It then is no longer a photograph. It's then a blooming rose in front of you. The opening of the bud, the redolence reaching into your soul, the flowering of every single petal. That is when love becomes beautiful. That is when love becomes something that truly empowers you and doesn't send you down a melancholic road. That is the big difference. That is the big secret. So then the next question is, what passion? What passion then motivates that love so that it can truly become something magical and strong? What are, and we had some of the questions, we had some answers coming up here a moment ago. What are some of the drivers of passion? We had someone say sex, lust, absolutely. A calling to an art, right? You feel like you have to create a masterpiece. You can be very passionate about that. What are some of the other things that drive passion? Phoenix Fire just said it. Anger. That is what gives love life in a way that nothing else in this universe can. It is the absolute essence of the rose. It is the nutrients that come up through its soil, the flame of life that infuses every leaf and petal, every mote of redolence that floats upon the airs and reaches your nose and descends into your spirit, into your very essence. That is the power of love. That is its true engine, is anger. And the anti-whites want to turn you away from anger for that very reason. Now, how do most people respond to anger? They internalize it, don't they? They get angry about something and then they internalize it. They eat it. They pack it down deep into their spirit, down deep into their solar plexus, where it will do the most harm. It causes a great deal of stress when you take anger and you bury it in your heart. And stress deteriorates the body in so many ways. Stress becomes what? Stress becomes self-destruction. Stress becomes self-delusion. Stress becomes drug abuse. Stress becomes sexual promiscuity. Stress becomes self-mutilation. Stress causes us, when we bury it like this, when we bury the anger like this, stress causes us to lash out at those around us, which very often are the people who mean or should mean most to us, the people who do the most for us. We end up lashing out at them because we have buried anger that we feel. Yeah, ladies, I know some of you right now, I know that some of you right now are tearing up right now listening to this, live or in replay. I can feel it right now in my heart. Some of you right now are hearing and seeing yourself. You know that you have felt that anger, and you know that you have buried it deep in your soul. And then you have allowed it to torment you, and then to lash out and harm those you should care about most. The son in your house who is back talking, the daughter who stayed out too late, the husband who hasn't gotten the toilet fixed yet. And instead of reaching out in love, you have lashed out with the anger that you buried in you, the anger that stems from these mean pathogens, the anger that stems from a life of living in hell, an anti-white hell, where they can discriminate against you and me and everybody we care about. And we have to pretend that we are the privileged ones or defined as evil in their world. And you have taken all of that anger and you have buried it in your heart. And then you have harmed those you care about. That is white noir, ladies and gentlemen. That is the evil the anti-whites have inflicted upon us. And now I'm going to tell you how to win. The thing that makes us most angry, because we are the best of our community, the best of the white race. Is anti-whiteism. Everywhere we go, every commercial we see, every movie trailer we look at, every newspaper we pick up, every magazine cover we see across 100 magazine covers at the supermarket, every single one, we see anti-whiteism. Every television show you watch, every movie you turn on, the radio channel that you flip to, everything is anti-white. Every last thing. In your children's workbooks, in the class you have to take at work, in the firing of you from your job so that they can hire somebody of a different ethnicity and race to take your place. All of that infuses anger inside of you. And you bury it. And you suffer from it. And you make those around you suffer. This is what you do. This is how you win. This is how I win every day. When you feel that anger, it is a great energy. It is a great energy. When you see that commercial, when you pick up that textbook, when you see what they're trying to teach your nephew, when you get that call to come to that anti-white tribunal because you expressed an opinion the anti-whites didn't like, you were a heretic. When you're not taken into that school, but the dumb kid down the street who happens to be of another race is. When that anger wells up inside of you, I want you to remember the love you have for Western kind and wed that anger to that love and use it as an engine to accomplish your objectives. When you're called before that anti-white tribunal next time and they lambaste you, you're not going to drive from work stewing in the car over how unfair it is and then get home and yell at your wife or husband. When the teacher calls you out of class to tell you you won't say that again, you're not going to wait until you get home to yell at your roommate or your mother. You are immediately going to use that energy to make a plan, a new project, the next leafleting, the next song, the next painting, the next sculpture. And each time you do that, each time you take that energy and you wed it to the love for our people and you do something great for our folks, even if it is a single flyer in a single book, if that's all that you can do to start, each time you do that, it will become a habit and you will do great and glorious things for our folk. You will cross mountaintops as I have crossed mountaintops. There is nothing that stops love when it's fueled by the anger of those who harm our people. There is no force in this universe greater than love fueled by anger over the harm inflicted on our children. And there's another side to this. That next time that you're feeling depressed or black-pilled or miserable, that next time you think that we don't have a chance, that next time you feel like letting go, like hiding in your bedroom and running the curtains closed, that next time, I want you to do what I do. Turn on the TV. Watch 5 minutes. Open up the newspaper. Read 5 paragraphs. Turn on YouTube. Watch what they recommend. And if you want to then go and hide after seeing the infliction of harm on our people, you're not ready to be an adult. You're not ready to take up this challenge, or the greatest challenge, the most heroic fight in the history of our people. Instead, you take what would have been that indolence and you find that fuel in the society all around us, that rage that wells in you when you see the infliction of harm, when you see what they have done to our people. Let me tell you this. No place, in no place on planet Earth is there more fuel to be found than what they do to our brothers and sisters, children and grandparents, cousins, nieces and nephews in South Africa. You look to what they do to our people. You look to what people like Cross Eyes on the right write about it. And you let that fire burn bright in your heart. And you wrap our love in it. And you watch that thing become the supernova of existence. You watch it become the most fiery fuel that could drive any engine from here to the end of time. It has worked for me every time. And I know, I've taught other people this. I know that some of you will, the first time will go out and you'll see the things that are ugly. You'll see the anti-white attacks and you'll feel down. You'll feel lugubrious. You'll feel like giving up. That is when you have to exert your willpower. That is when you have to take control. That is when you say, no, today I'm going to use this rage to take action. I'm going to use this affront to do something good for our people. You will never know how powerful you can be until you take the anger that wells up inside of you from the infliction of harm by the anti-whites and you wed that to the love of our people. You will never know that power until that very moment. And when you do, there is no going back.